at least I know sound's working. I had to mute myself on the stream. What else am I doing here, Ed? Let's host me on my channel. Host Lotro stream. And there was much rejoicing. Yay! Radigan gets the rest of the night off. We will keep working on Mandalinia. I think he's pretty close to 32nd, which is good. Hi everybody, it's Big Ed Mustafa. I'm old and I'm starting to talk to myself, but that's okay. Welcome to Adventures After Dark. I am here. I'm your host. And tonight we'll be continuing the adventures of Mandalinia on Evernight. She's an elf. She's a rune keeper. She's level 108 with a bullet and working her way through Eastern Gondor, heading towards Old Anorian. And we will continue that adventure. But first, we've got some task item turn-ins to do. And why do we need to focus on task item turn-ins? Because I'm choking on task items. In fact, I think I'm doing Minas Tirith turn-ins specifically. You need a lot of Minas Tirith rep to get done with Minas Tirith, so that's a good place to start, especially if you've got as much stuff to turn in as I do. It looks like I've still got a lot of pitted sword sheaths I can turn in. What else is good for Minas Tirith? Torn skin. Yeah, let's just do a stack of each. If you turn in 5 of each one, that opens up 2 pack spaces. So we're going to jump right into the 10 minutes of quality Lotro streaming tonight. And why do we do task item turn-ins? So we can get experience points, item experience points, Warsteed experience points. We gain reputation points. We earn titles. We earn cosmetics. And it helps get crap out of our bags, which is the most important reason. Sure, you could vendor it, but what fun is that? Do your task item turn-ins every day. It's good and good for you. Bacchus checking in. How are you doing this evening? I am terrific, Bacchus. I am excited to be here. Just starting with the task item turn-ins. And a fun fact that you may not know, for those of you who aren't hyper-focused on task item turn-ins, when you first start your character, you can only do 5 daily tasks per day. But as you level up in tiers of task item turn-ins, starting with Up and Comer, Go-Getter, Eager Beaver, Busy Bee, and then finally Hot Shot, each one of those adds another daily task that you can turn in. And you can spend Mithril to increase your task limit every day. I've never done that, even on Galandriel, my main character on Arkenstone. If you've got Mithril to spend, you sure could. If you're a free-to-play player, Mithril is a rare commodity, at least Mithril coins to spend. So I generally don't spend mine for love or money. Doing task item turn-ins helps you do more daily task item turn-ins. It's a wonderful thing. I think we need to hit the board again. Not Pelargir. We're already kindred with Pelargir. Minas Tirith, Torn Skin, and Pitted Sword Sheaths. Lots and lots of both. And it's a bit of a shame because I'd like to be turning in all of these hatchets. I don't know how many hatchets I have. It's a lot of hatchets. But earlier this week I was able to get kindred with Theodred's riders, which amused me because I've never met Prince Theodred on this particular character anyway. So, gotta love it.
Here's some of them.
Okay, are you doing them in batches?
I just have 2 batches.
Awesome, thank you. This is Mustafa coming in with tonight's snack. They feel piping hot. Thank you, sweetie. Pizza rolls. I had a taco salad for dinner. It was a little bit light for dinner, so I was very much looking forward to snacking. Eating on camera is another one of the 5 Tedments, which we'll be doing shortly. And we'll finish with this one first. Baka says traditions are important and so on. Exactly. Looks like 850 axes, so lots. You'd think that would weigh me down. Thankfully, Lotro doesn't have a weight and encumbrance system like some games. I always joke that Fallout 76 was, well, most of the Fallout games are basically like being in high school wrestling. You're just trying to cut weight all the time. Task limit reached. I've completed 10 out of 10. And as promised, I've got not 2, but 3 extra pack slots open. That means I'm starting tonight with a full row. We'll go ahead and ruin that right away by seeing what the hobbits have for me. Ooh, look at that. I got 1,000 marks, which means I still have a full row open. That is fantastic. We'll see if we can add to our fish collection too. Last I checked, fish were still selling for a gold piece each in the auction house. People are desperate for Gundabad cooking ingredients. Tommy Lawless checking in. Hello, Tommy. My friend Bacchus, of course, joins us on Wednesday nights for Adventures on Evernight. And what did we do Wednesday? We went through more roving threats of Central Gondor. I picked up the last 3 that I didn't have the quests for the first time we did them. I think Freelancer and I both got completions for that. I'm at Cannablick's house grabbing ingredients from the ingredient crate. And as long as I'm here, I'll show off the kin house and all the fishing trophies there. Central Gondor Artis, you're exactly right. Then after that, we did Dome of the Stars in Osgiliath. And we did Silent Streets in Minas Tirith. We're starting to hit 100 level plus group content together, and that's been fun. Pretty soon, I imagine we'll be doing Sargarath, although I think that's only 3-man. I don't think that scales up. And we all have to discover it before we can do the instance. Let's check and see, shall we? So Court of Saragoth is 3-man only. And then Dungeons of Narraband? Not sure I've done that. That's a 6-man. We'll have to do that. I don't know. I've done that before. Looks like there might be a discovery point for that too. So here's the kin house for gypsies, tramps, and thieves on Evernight. And somebody, I won't say who, decided it needed to be decorated with lots and lots of fishing trophies. So this doorway in particular has some of the better ones. Sturgeon Group Trophy. We'll take a close look at that. In fact, you get this for catching all 9 species of sturgeon, and it gives you the title Sturgeon Master. Above it is the 50-pound salmon trophy. That nets you the title of Complete Angler. The trout group is up there. The trout, I wish I had one closer. I think I know where I might be able to take a look at one. But yeah, that's a beautiful trophy too. Same thing. There's 9 species of trout. You catch all 9 of them. Boom, Trout Master. And then Darter Group, which is also a beautiful trophy. Look at the detail on each one of these fish. Just a really nice job on what most people would consider, I would have said minor, but most players regard fishing as completely insignificant. And yet Standing Stone Games did this much detail work, putting together these beautiful fishing trophies. We've got some other ones around here. We've got the big mouth bass. We've got the perfect pike. We've got the fantastic flounder. We've got the cunning catfish. The bright bitterling, not that impressive of a trophy. Although, again, I love that when you get up that close on it, I mean, that's still some nice detail with the scales and the gills. We got a brawny bullhead. A bullhead is a little catfish. They don't grow to be very big normally, but if you can catch them that size, they would be pretty good eating. And they have a yellow belly instead of a white or blue belly like a true catfish. So they're easy to tell. If you're out catching fish, you'll know right away whether you got a small catfish or a bullhead. Barbarous barbel, another 30-pound salmon. The salmon trophies, there's a wide variety of sizes: 2, 4, 6 pound, 10 pound, 15 pound, 20 pound, 30 pound, 40, and 50 pound. And the 30, 40, and 50 are all impressive hanging up on the wall. In fact, here's a 40-pound now. Here's the tricky 3-spine stickleback trophy, which is a rare trophy. This is one of the few fish in Middle Earth not named after a fish in our current Earth. Most of the species tend to be legit. There's a courageous carp. And it looks like we got some duplicates up here. That's okay. No reason to leave a section of wall uncovered if you've got the fishing trophies to hang. So yeah, Wednesday night, Adventures on Evernight was a good time, and we got some good work done, and I'm looking forward to Wednesday again. That is on my personal channel. If you're not already following me, you know, that's okay. But if you're just having a hard time getting to sleep Wednesday night, you got some insomnia, maybe your head's spinning, you're worried about your tax situation or something, just come by the Big Ed Mustafa channel. You know, I am the Ambien of Lotro streamers. If you watch me, you will get a full night's rest and wake up the next morning feeling calm and refreshed. And it's all good. So yeah, that's the Gypsies, Tramps, and Thieves Kin House. I don't think I've got a duplicate trophy in here for the trout to move up on. That's okay. You got the idea. My own house is a little bit barren because I put all the good trophies in there. I can't even remember the last time I've been in here. We've got some Winterfest music theme going. Lungerthon Lord checking in. I'm doing great, Lungerthon Lord. How the heck are you? Rockhead. Sorry about that, Rockhead. I thought I had unmuted myself after I coughed, and in fact, I didn't press the button well enough. So I've just been rambling on to nobody, and that's okay. That's kind of what old guys do. Hi, Rockhead. Good to see you. Ojowski checking in, saying, yo. Baka says, I think we lost. It's just me. The one thing, the Blue Yeti, I bought it because I broke the mute button on my old Turtle Beach headset. It was a great cordless headset, sounded good, was comfortable, and I was flicking the mute button, and it just failed one day. So my solution was, how do you fix the mute button on a $100 headset? You go buy a $140 microphone that's got a mute button right on it. And that's when I got my Blue Yeti, and that's the one thing, well, I can't say it's the one thing. It's one of the things about the microphone that's actually disappointing, because the button is electronic, not mechanical, and sometimes you press it and it doesn't mute you, and sometimes you press it and it doesn't unmute you. You have to look at it. And my headphones, sorry for the noise in advance, they plug into the microphone, and I use the digital to analog converter on the microphone to provide sound to the headphones, and also control the volume of the headphones. It's got a volume knob on it. Very handy, because all my audio controls are basically right here on my left. I don't even have to reach out to my keyboard. I don't have to get to the PC. I don't have to go into some little control panel to fiddle with stuff. But the problem is, because of my particular setup, the headphone cord has a tendency to swing around and hang right in front of the mute button. So I can look over and not really be able to tell if I'm muted or not muted. If you see me kind of doing this or moving something over here with my arm, my left arm, that's me trying to figure out if I'm muted or not. So, got any tips for a burglar new beginner? Ojowski, burglar is one of my favorite classes in the game. I have a burglar on Brandywine that's like 118th level, Little Ed Mustafa. The best advice I can give a new burglar is be patient. And the reason I say that is burglars are not weak. They've got great skills, but they tend to, a little bit like Guardians, I found. Guardians and burglars need to be played cautiously for the first 20 or 30 levels, but as you build out your skill tree, and I'm on a Runekeeper, completely wrong class, but if you're on your burglar, and let's say you're playing Redline Burglar, you get through these first couple of tiers of skills. They're nice, you want to build them up, they're not that big of a deal. When you start getting down into this stuff, and this stuff, you'll really start growing in power. And this is true for Guardians too. You want to dive down into that skill tree. And for Burglar, like Redline Burglar, man, by the time you get coup de grace, you are out wrecking stuff. You can pick one single target, and if you can sneak up behind it and use aim, and then do a backstab attack with coup de grace, you'll wreck an on-level boss. You'll do half his hit points with your first hit and cause bleeds. And you'll be able to drop single targets very quickly. What I found with my Guardian, and I'm probably playing Redline Guardian as well, although Chromite might have talked me into going more Yellow Line Guardian. I haven't played my Guardian in a while. I've got a Guardian named Big Ed Mustafa, actually. He is on Crick Hollow, and he's about 115th level. And with Guardian, I think the power comes on a little easier. What you want to do is use your AoE attacks frequently as they're charged up, because you can shield yourself and fight. Like if you're fighting 3 orcs at the same time, your shield will protect you from the orcs' attacks for the most part, but as long as you're spamming those AoE attacks, they'll put bleeds on all of the targets you're fighting that are within melee range. So what happens, it's going to take you a while as a Guardian to kill that first target, but by the time you switch to the second and third target, those AoE attacks will have bled them down. They'll be at half damage before you take your first direct swing at them. So you can clear out multiple targets fairly quickly once you get those AoE attacks. So the key with a guardian, the key with a burglar, play it patiently, work your way up, but as you continue to add down your skill tree, a few particular skills will have a huge impact on your damage output. And just take your time to learn the class. And burglar in particular, you've got safe fall, where you can jump from heights without getting your speed debuff. That's a lot of fun. Pickpocketing is super fun. And if you get to war steeds, if you got a 75th level burglar on a war steed, they even have a fun couple of war steed skills. One of which you can disguise yourself as an orc and just ride past enemies. And then another one is, I think it's called Impugn Character, where you can basically convince one member of an enemy party to attack his fellow enemies, or creeps we'll call them, temporarily, and help you damage them before he comes to his senses and turns back on you with full health. So that's something that's used sparingly, but it's kind of a fun dynamic. So burglar's terrific. Be patient early on. You won't kill very fast at first, but you get into your 30s, start adding some of those deeper burglar skills. The class really comes alive, and mid-game forward, it's super fun. Hi, Quacked. Hello. So that's my advice about burglars. Love them, play them. And what was funny about it is, we'll shout him out. My good friend, All Up Enya. We were both playing and streaming Lotro, and this was a long time ago when the Lotro community on Twitch was a lot smaller. And he was like, "Hey, brother, we should stream together sometime." And I was kind of chuckling. I was like, "Yeah, that'd be fun." And I jokingly said, "Yeah, we should both play burglars, and that way we wouldn't have to worry about anybody watching us, and we could just do whatever we wanted." And we kind of chuckled about it, because burglar was not very popular at the time. And we actually created a kin called All Up Baba and the 40 Thieves over on Brandywine. And All Up's a really good recruiter. And instead of having 40 thieves, we had over 100 kin members. Probably still do. And the joke was, if you're the 41st burglar to log in onto the server, you have to stay in stealth mode until somebody logs off, because there can only be 40 of us visible at any given time. But, we got a lot of people playing burglars, and either coincidentally or because of that, we had a lot of people streaming burglars at the time. And there have been a lot of other streamers who play burglar, love burglar. I know Feklas from the UK loved to play burglars and was really good at it. And I want to say Cable Knit Dragon walked me through the yellow burglar skill tree, which is surprising and underutilized. But if you know how to combine all the skills exactly, you're basically a spell-casting burglar who can attack from ranged reasonably effectively. And I was always grateful to her, because the stuff she showed me, I never saw or heard anywhere else. And that's probably a video all by itself sometime, if I can remember everything she showed me, or even half of it. So yeah, that was cool stuff. Anyway, I think I said something about let's get out to Eastern Gondor, so I should probably make good on that. What do we got? Tumladen and Ostanglebed. I have finished Doran Ernal Kindred and Lebanon Kindred. I still have some dailies to grind in Ringlow Vale to complete that section of Central Gondor. They're not particularly fun, and there's not any particularly good reward waiting for me, other than the fact that it would bother me if I did not complete my Kindred status. I think I've run all the quests from here and have moved out, so we'll pull up my quest log here. I'll go ahead and close inventory. Just having that giant bag open triggers some players. Like, oh, I can't stand to look at Big Ed Mustafa's giant bag of trash. And they're probably right, so I should keep it closed more. And I think I turned up the sound. The music is... How's the music? I'll ask you guys. Hard hit, how's the music mix? The music seems loud to me. I'm wondering if I'm able to be heard over it. If I need to turn it down a little. If it's loud for me, I just imagine it's got to be loud for you guys. I'll dial it back a little. Oh, you're good. Bit loudish, but can hear you fine. Okay, well that little tweak I made should fix that then. And I can probably turn down my headset a little too. Who else was I going to shout out? Gravity 42. Gravity actually raided us on Wednesday and brought a bunch of friends over. He'd been streaming, well, Shroud of the Avatar. Gravity and Olip are both former Lotro stream team members. They both used to stream here on this channel. Have gotten interested in other games, moved on. You know, I tend to be pretty fastidious about my time commitment to Lotro stream. It's pretty rare for me to miss a Friday night unless I'm very ill with the stomach flu or just have something better to go do. But I tend to be pretty steady on this channel, I think. And I completely understand people who don't want to make the that level of time commitment. I think a lot of the streamers are a bit more Cordovan's the community manager. He wasn't on today. He had something else going on. People take vacations. People spend time with family, and that's all good and well. But Gravity used to run with us. Zinger and Gravity and I used to do the 40 Thieves stuff, I think, on Lotro stream back in the day. And Gravity's a great streamer, terrific guy. One fatal flaw. I got the message he had subscribed to my channel for 56 months in a row. That is almost 5 straight years of very poor judgment. I'm grateful to him for the support. And I think just because of the raid and everything else that was going on Wednesday, I missed that notification. And it just popped up as I was getting everything set up for tonight. I saw it in my notifications listing on Streamlabs, and I'm like, oh, I gotta shout out Gravity. He was one of my earliest subscribers. Always been a good friend, been very supportive of me. Really appreciate him. Really appreciate Olipenya and all of the streamers who come by, who say hello. Calingwith, Val, Green-Eyed Gamer, Ginger, Apulu Felgar, Help Me Out Hard Hit, who are some of our other streamer friends who come in. There's so many of them, so many good friends that I've known for so long. You know, Ironfoot Smooches streams, guys who haven't been around a while. There's a funny story about me and Grizzly Wookie that I tell, so I may as well go ahead and tell that story. Old guys love to repeat stories, so if you've heard this before, sorry, I'm an old guy. You have to put up with it. Bloodborne has popped in a few times. Love Bloodborne. Great streamer. Partnered. I think he just got partner status on YouTube, too. So congratulations to Bloodborne. Definitely worthy of a shout-out as well. So I'm shouting out people who aren't even here, and that's okay. Don't tell them I said anything nice about them. They won't believe you anyway. No, I'm just kidding. Much love to Bloodborne, Gravity, All Up, and everybody else I'm mentioning tonight. We mentioned Feklas earlier. No, when Grizzly Wookie was with the stream team, I was just getting ready to set up for a Friday night stream years ago, and Mrs. Mustafa was shooting pictures at a high school football game down from the sideline. And the play had gone past her, and she turned to shoot photos of the ball carrier and pursuers, and a big defensive lineman and a big offensive lineman came rolling up behind her, blasted her and knocked her to the ground. And she managed to save her camera, but in the process broke her shoulder. And I get this call 30 minutes before I'm supposed to be starting my stream. And I'm like, oh man, what am I going to do? Because I had to go right away. I didn't even have time to send out notices and things. So I noticed Grizzly Wookie was on. And so I popped into his channel and I said, hey man, can you do me a favor? And I told him what happened. I said she got run over by a couple of football players on the sideline of a high school game she was taking pictures at. Would you mind just streaming on Lotro Stream for me? And, you know, because you're streaming anyway. Said, oh, yeah, sure. No, I'm happy to. Well, you know, it's the old telephone game. Grizzly Wookie gets on chat, and he fires up in my place, and people come on to Lotro Stream, and he's like, yeah, well, Big Ed wishes he could be here, but he had to go to the hospital. Mrs. Mustafa got run over, so he went to go check on. People were thinking that my wife had gotten hit by a car, and were very concerned for Mrs. Mustafa. And she was fine. The shoulder didn't require surgery. They basically just put her in a sling and told her not to use her arm for 6 to 8 weeks. And she's fine, other than the fact that she never bothered doing all of her physical rehabilitation. Because she's kind of lazy about stuff like that. And so she still doesn't have full range of motion in her right shoulder. That's kind of on her. She doesn't do much these days anyway, so it's okay. So I'm killing orcs. I don't really have any quests in here and nothing has popped up. So we can leave here and come back after I get redirected. These guys haven't respawned yet, so that's cool. So that is Nan... Oh, Losnark. Okay. Or Losnark's the area, and I don't remember the name of that particular... Oh, that's a Norian Skarn. I need gobs of that stuff. Let's not walk past it. Thou Shalt Craft is another Tedmit that we definitely adhere to. Speak of the devil, Ginger checking in. Hello, Ginger. Hopefully your ears were burning. I was talking about you. Ginger's granddaughter, Somatome, is a Lotro streamer. And we've gotten a chance to raid her once or twice. Professor Teacher G. There's a couple of friends of Val's I'm just getting to know. I will talk about people I remember for sure. Stina. The whole Lotro community loves Stina. I'm a big fan. She's terrific. Just anytime she pops by or says something, that always brightens my day. She is popular on 2 different sides of the globe. There you are, Acer Secrets. Balviel used to, yeah. In fact, Balviel hated the expression, if you did anything that was abbreviated or kind of millennial, like said something was totes adorbs, it would just drive her up a wall. So I started doing the Balviel's totes adorbs pick of the day on Twitter for a while. That was kind of a running gag, just to needle her. She was on Twitter so rarely she didn't know it was happening. So we had to tell her about it. She got a chuckle. She's a good sport. Here's Harland. I'm supposed to be looking around Harland. Near the entrance of the city. I don't think I've gotten a... This is a good place to look at Harland. Doesn't Val's wife stream Lotro? Queen something or other? Help me out. Well, and I continuously praise... There you are, Queen Perwithian. Thank you. You know, Druid's Fire and Eldolith have been stalwart supporters of Lotro Stream for even longer than I've been on the channel, and both of them have always been very supportive of me. I'm grateful to them for not only their friendship and support, but for all of the work they do in the background to help out with Lotro Stream and with moderating and with running different special events and charity streams and broadcasting concerts. We should probably shout out TD Growl. TD Growl does a lot of concert stuff on Lotro and streams prodigiously. And of course, one of the newer Lotro streamers, not on this channel necessarily, but of Twitch streamers who stream Lotro, Gipio has been streaming Lotro once in a while, and we've been encouraging him to do more of that. I know Hard Hit's pretty excited. He's getting ready to start streaming Lotro himself. That's going to be a bold new adventure for him to kick off. SKDX Killer, Nick's been a longtime friend, and we met through just both of us streaming Lotro. Egan's Army. I don't know he streamed Lotro in a long time, but always enjoyed talking to him. And it was great seeing some of these younger people come in and stream Lotro. Because it's neat to see multiple generations excited about the game, excited about Tolkien, and hanging out with us old fogies. The game's got mass appeal of people young and old, and occasionally very old. TD's been running with Professor G lately. Awesome. Donnie checking in. Hi, Donnie. Look at you making it to Lotro Stream. Gee, I hope I get to come back through here again at some point and kill more orcs. That would be awesome. Yeah, this is one of the areas you go through for the Minas Tirith dailies. So I'm already sick of looking at this particular section of Middle Earth. And would like to get out of here just as fast as I possibly can. It's not quite the cisterns of Minas Tirith, but it's I'm near the gate of the Rammus. Aka says, as much as I'm not a fan of losing the most efficient way of getting LI items in the game, not having to do MT dailies over and over and over and over and over is definitely good for your sanity. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about it, but the way the new LI system works, I don't really have to grind those at all anymore, do I? I mean, you can just level up past where you even need that stuff. Yeah, I have a feeling I'm going to become more and more fond of the new LI system as time marches on. So, the road south. And this is a nice little shortcut, by the way. If you're in eastern Gondor and you don't want to have to march all the way around through South Ithilien and cut through Osgiliath, just like in the daily instance, you can just cut through this section of wall and boom, there's Minas Tirith. And I just cut out, I don't know how much of eastern Gondor, a lot of eastern Gondor. Beast Slayer of Oldenorian. And I'll take the Skarn, thank you. Let's check the pizza rolls. Delicious, cooked just right. Sauce is still on the inside. Crispy, but not overly done.
The enemies of men approach. I hope you are prepared.
How am I doing on available quests? I'll go ahead and leave this alone for now. For some sick, sad reason, I actually want to go through the quest line as intended, so I'll head back where I came from. Still need to see how it works in Gundabad when that launches in the LP store. Agarther says, just think, folks, hitting level 100 for the first time won't know the horror of grinding empty dailies. We will tell them. Back in my day, we had to walk uphill through the snow to school both ways. Alright, that's all of the relevant quests by the look of things. You know, every once in a while, if you're just sitting around and it's a rainy Saturday or something, I like to dust off a character and just try to clear up some of those old quests. But the problem is, every time you complete one, another one pops up. Jumbo95 says, welcome back. Thank you. You know, it's been just great being back with you guys the last, well, this is my third week in a row of not missing a stream. Pretty excited about that. Feeling great. I was saying earlier, I'm pretty much completely over my stomach flu or cold or whatever it was. I thought it was Omicron, but tested negative. But I've had cases of the stomach flu that lasted and got me as down as this one did, but it's been quite a few years. I think 6 or 7 years since the last time I was that sick. I dropped a whole pant size. It was not the worst thing that could have happened to me. Yeah, I had a wonderful, weird experience this week. I post the replay of my Friday night streams on the Lotro channel on YouTube, which is also controlled by Standing Stone. And the streamers here have the ability to upload their streams. It gets Lotro a few more views on YouTube. It doesn't do a lot for me personally, but it might be why I'm fairly well recognized for not being a particularly big streamer. Well, pound for pound, I'm probably one of the biggest streamers now. But I had a question from somebody, and it was in Portuguese, and of course I don't speak a lick of Portuguese, but using Google Translate, I was able to translate the question, answer it, translate my answer back into Portuguese, and basically be able to communicate with somebody, and we speak two completely different languages. It was pretty slick. So yeah, if you saw that, or if you're watching this on YouTube rather than live here on Twitch, and you're checking out the comments, going, I had no idea Big Ed Mustafa spoke Portuguese. Yeah, I don't, not a lick of it. But thanks to Google Translate, I was able to answer questions. And in the case of people who speak Portuguese natively, I know that there's a fairly strong interest in Lotro in Brazil. I've talked to a number of Brazilians who watch the streams, and who, a few of them who know English will pop in and chat regularly. Super nice folks, very supportive. And the question was basically, is there some way that, Portuguese subtitles could be added to these streams? And I'm like, it's a great question. I have no idea. I couldn't do it because I don't have enough control of the video uploading process. And I just sort of pointed him to Cordovan on the official forums. And I don't know if Cordovan will know to translate through Google from English to Portuguese and back, but that would be wonderful. Jumbo says, really, that's my day number 3 in the game, but I really love the game, but a lot of things still difficult to me, and I still can't find some places in order to be doing your quest. Exploring, finding your way around, it can be frustrating, but it'll come around for you. A lot of the stuff will become second nature over time. So where's the other dude I need to talk to? Follow the arrow on your mini-map. But yeah, it was pretty cool talking to a Lotro fan in Portuguese. I wasn't able to directly help him, but I at least got him pointed the right direction, so that was pretty cool. Hard Hit says, not all those that quest are lost. Game is like a maze, but it's okay, I'll accept the challenge. Well, we're glad you're here, and we're glad that you're still plugging away. It's a huge game world. There are tons of things to see and do. And frankly, there's going to be 2 or 3 times where you're out wandering around not sure where you're going, where you're going to run into something wonderful. So just do your best and look forward to those moments. They will happen for you. Also, and I'm going to preface my comments here with that I don't want anything I say to be considered anti-Catholic or anti-vegan. I have friends who are vegan, including McVegan Pants. Another great streamer, hi Pontin Finberry, and another recovering member of the Lotro stream team. McVegan Pants is super cool, super chill, always fun to hang out with. Big fan, and am just, I always enjoy talking to McVegan Pants.
This darkness.
Talk to the lady, but in not a practicing Catholic currently myself. Was raised Catholic. My mom's side of the family is Catholic. I had my first communion. Did not go on with, I think it's confirmation later on. But for university, I am Jesuit educated. I went to Creighton. Great school. Proud of that affiliation, even if they turned out a few dumb basketball players over the years. I think I've talked about that on stream before too. Yeah, Benoit Benjamin used to miss NBA games because he'd forget to bring his shoes with him or he'd show up at an opponent's arena with 2 left shoes and not be able to play, things like that. And then there was a guy named Kevin Ross who graduated right before I started college, and he had a bachelor's degree from Creighton, star basketball player, and he ended up suing the university after he didn't get drafted because he didn't know how to read or write. And they basically worked out an agreement where he got to come back to college and learn how to read and write after he got his bachelor's degree. So Creighton's a fine institution. A lot of great things about Creighton, a lot of great things about the Catholic Church. The Archdiocese in Omaha here seems to be, I'm trying to think of a polite way to say this, less sullied reputation-wise than a lot of other archdioceses. We haven't had a lot of scandal here. Great school systems. Catholic Charities does tremendous work. But I got kind of laughing today because Mrs. Mustafa and I are Protestant. And it's Lent, and it's Friday, and I was excited to go out. I wanted to get a steak for lunch because I always joke that I consider Friday Steak Friday during Lent because, you know, the steakhouses will be less crowded because all the Catholics have to go eat fish. And Mrs. Mustafa hasn't really felt like going out for dinner much. By the time I get home from work, she's pretty tired. Today was a dialysis day, so I thought, well, if I want beef, I'm probably going to have to get it for lunch. And I just couldn't find a good place to go for a steak lunch. So I ended up going to one of the local burger joints, getting a double cheeseburger for lunch, figuring that would be good enough. And as I was sitting there pondering things, I was like, so is Lent the one thing that unites Protestants and Jews and Muslims and Hindus and agnostics and atheists, that on Fridays during Lent we can all agree that beef is delicious? And then I also thought, now if you're a vegan who's Catholic, what do you give up for Lent? Those are just questions that went through my mind today. I don't have answers. Maybe you do. Feel free to sound off, but we always want to keep the conversation polite and respectful. Not a religious debate. We're just having fun. I think Bacchus and I were joking Wednesday about that I posted a picture of a seafood, not really a banquet, a seafood boil in Discord chat, and he was like, yeah, I think the only thing I could eat on that whole tray would be the corn. Nothing else was kosher. So we all have different dietary restrictions and guidelines that we go by. Nothing unusual about that, but I just thought it was funny wondering what would a vegetarian or vegan Catholic give up during Lent. Wow, what is this? I came for the game. Oh, is Mustafa your real name? Big Ed Mustafa was a character in a Dirty Harry movie, a Clint Eastwood movie called The Enforcer from 1975. And I've gone ahead and borrowed his character name because nobody else was using it. So, no, Mustafa's not my real name. Ed might be my real name, but definitely not Big Ed Mustafa. But I'm aware of Mustafa Ataturk, the first president of modern-day Turkey, who did a lot to reform his country and set it up as a secular democracy that still respected religion and religious institutions. And he's still beloved by most Turks. And I think it's a beautiful country. No disrespect to that nation by using the name Mustafa. And I'd like to visit it someday. I think Istanbul is beautiful. Would love to see the city. Would you like some pizza rolls, or are you reloading me?
Reloading.
I've been talking the whole time and hardly eaten anything.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
So. Elda's joining the party. Hi, Elda. Thank you for the raid. Rough night on League for me, Big Ed. Oh, sorry to hear that. As I'm fond of saying, though, whenever you play something competitively, Tommy, Sometimes you're the hammer, sometimes you're the nail. Don't I know it? You good in history? You like it? Yeah, I like history. I find it interesting. Oh, this is not the ladies' hall. This is some random hall. I don't know. This is a big open thing with nothing in it as far as I can tell. I don't know. Maybe I should explore in here. Or maybe I should follow my first instinct and leave immediately so I don't get too sidetracked. I don't know. I walked in here and I don't know I ever found anything. I don't know that there's any vendors. There's no quest points I'm aware of. I mean, at some point, there should be some quests popping up. Maybe there's a quest track that leads you in here. I think Freelancer kind of indicated it previously, but I don't remember. There are quests in the Hall of the Gentle Hand. Okay, that's kind of what I thought. I'm just not on track for him yet. How did those bags get full again already? Holy cow. It's all useless stuff I don't need. Okay, well, let's go find a vendor. Or I just keep working on the quests I'm already doing. That would be a good use of my time. Geez, you need a task carry-all badly. I know. Especially on this character. Thank you, Pookie. She has reloaded the pizza roll supply. I am set for snacks. Actually, I probably won't have to eat lunch tomorrow. So, Mrs. Mustafa, if you guys think I get excited about food, I mentioned we're going to the RC auction tomorrow in Waverly. So, Mrs. Mustafa's whole reason for wanting to go, well, they serve breakfast, and you can get a pancake breakfast with sausage for $2 or $3. She's like, I want to go for the breakfast. I'm like, okay, that's fine. We can go, and I may or may not get put to work once we get down there. I'm good either way, happy to help out. But I get the car gassed up. I got some cash on my way home, so I got some pocket money to pay for stuff tomorrow. We're all good. We're all set, and we're talking. I'm like, yeah, we should be able to head out about 7. We'll get down there about 8:15, and be set for the day. Well, where are we stopping on the way down? I'm like, we're not stopping on the way down. She wanted to stop somewhere and get snacks to eat in the car before we get there and eat breakfast. It's like, if it ain't in the kitchen, then you're going without it until we get down there. But yeah, she wanted snacks to eat on the way to go get breakfast. One of the reasons I married her. The woman's got good priorities. Questionable taste in men, but that worked out well for me. Well, there's some discovery points around here. I can't find them. And one of my great regrets with Inloth Malui, I would love to see this place when it's not the dawnless day. This is a beautiful city, and it's always night here because of the pending attack on Minas Tirith. Well, at least we found some vendors. Supplier. We'll go to the healer. Supplier's always the least favorite one to go to. They take longer to load because they've got so much more stuff in their store. Alright, let's sell some junk. Polished adamants, we'll keep those. If there's a mailbox, I'll send some of the stuff to Gore. He's probably good on scholar mats. I'll have to talk to him about it. I'm definitely good on jeweler's scrolls. One of the oddities of the crafting system is the higher you go in level, the more useless the recipe scrolls are that you get on landscape. They just keep giving you the same ones over and over. I don't need any more zircons. And I've been sending all of my scholar mats to Gorgarth for ages. And he's welcome to them, don't get me wrong, but at some point he's going to be thinking, oh man, would you quit sending me this junk? But today may not be that day, so I'll wait until I check with them. Elda says, oh my god, pizza rolls. I know, right? And they're even as yummy as you remember. Mrs. M baked them just perfectly. The sauce is still inside. They're crispy but not overly done. They are delicious. Oh. That's one of the reasons I was concerned about it. Now I've got enough room to fish. Ooh, look at that, Bacchus. I got some more hatchets, too. That is fantastic. Bacchus estimated this as 850 or so shattered hatchets to turn in. And yeah, I don't really care about any of this stuff. We'll just wipe it out. Fishing pole. Move that up there. Now the deal I have with Simply MJ, formerly known as Maiden of Rohan, who was also a recovering former Lotro Stream team member, is that 3 casts, 3 catches constitute fishing on stream. And I might do a few more casts if I start catching game fish. What I call game fish are the ones with the green background that can be used for cooking. Oh, Bacchus actually counted, didn't guess. First catch was a pike. It's not particularly useful, so we'll practice catch and release. Put it back. Next, we got a rusty axe. Also not particularly useful. Things like fishing and taking stable masters' horses places without fast travel gives you a chance to sit back, enjoy your Coke Zero, eat a pizza roll. It's a good time. Ooh, a carp. That's a game fish. That's worth a gold piece at the auction house. You're up to 869 now. Awesome. There are a few different factions who take that as a task item, so I wish Minas Tirith was one of them, but the Rangers of Ithilien and... Well, that might be worth looking up. One of the other factions might be one I'm already kindred with. Dirty Skull. Dirty Skulls are 63 copper. If you actually catch a bunch of them and stack them up, you can vendor those for some decent coin. But when everybody went crazy and started buying up fish in the auction house, I was sitting on over 1,000 game fish socked away in my storage chests. I sold them all for a gold piece each, so cash flow is not an issue for me right now. Ponton says, I read the Torah every week on Saturday morning. That is awesome. Painting for 3 hours. That sounds cool. I saw you were on. It said just chatting. I thought they had a separate category for creative or arts. I guess it's kind of 6 of one, half dozen of another. So I've thrown back a sticky 9-spine stickleback, a 3-spine stickleback, another rusty axe, another dirty skull. And I have just landed a shovel-nosed sturgeon, but we'll put that back too. The game fish do not seem to be flowing particularly well at the moment. Oh, I don't think I've mentioned it yet. I am streaming and playing on Linux again tonight. And what was funny about it is the Steam Deck has shipped. So if you want to play Lotro while you're traveling, you can. It plays and streams on Linux terrifically well. Shouldn't have any problem with it on a Steam Deck. Steam Deck will have plenty of power. Whether or not you can stream from a Steam Deck while playing, I would guess you probably could. It's got enough processing horsepower and enough memory too. But I was talking to Alapenya Saturday, and he asked me kind of point blank, why would you want to do that? And I talked before about being curious about how far Linux gaming has come. The answer is very far. And just kind of wanting to see if I could do it. But, you know, the short answer for All-Up, he'd want a practical answer. Intellectual curiosity wouldn't be something I would expect him to relate to particularly. It's not a knock against him. He's just more pragmatic. But, you know, our friends at Microsoft have been trying to figure out how to turn Windows into a subscription the same way they have with Office and Office 365. And if they can figure out how to convince us, you'll be paying $5 or $10 a month for your Windows operating system, the same way they want you to pay for your Microsoft Office. And, you know, for a lot of people, I don't think that would be something they'd want to do on their gaming box. And if that were to come to pass, knowing how to set up how to game and stream on Linux would be a very good skill to have. I don't know that Microsoft has any immediate plans to make Windows subscription-based. I know they'd like to. It's been looked at. But, you know, from a practical standpoint, if Valve's done nothing else for the greater PC community, the work they've done making gaming viable on Linux just keeps Microsoft at bay that much longer. You know, it's one more reason why, maybe we can't do that. Because if we charge a subscription, we could have lots of people moving to Linux, which wouldn't be something they'd want, of course. And hopefully, I think by all accounts, they're making enough money elsewhere that their Windows revenue isn't really something they have to sweat. But, you know, it's just good to have options. Heard you can play Angry Birds on the Steam Deck. I imagine it would play well. Bacchus is heading out. Need to head off for a while, but I'll pop back in if you're still online in about 90 minutes. Take care, Bacchus. Always glad to have you around, buddy. So the deeds and quests enough to buy all game expansion, or should I pay real money? It depends on your play style. I'm completely free to play and have virtually everything unlocked that I can buy in the Lotro store. I am not normal. I'm wired differently from most people. And what I did was I started out by creating, it was purely by accident. One of the reasons I'm still free to play is I happened to be playing a playing style that suited it. I started playing in beta, liked the game, didn't love it in beta enough to subscribe, so I didn't ever subscribe to the game, and I didn't come back until after it went free to play. So one of the running jokes is I'm the only 15-year free-to-play player in Lotro, which might actually be factual. I have no idea. But I've never subscribed. I'm not saying you shouldn't subscribe. It's a wonderful game. It deserves financial support. But I started out by wanting to try the different classes and see what they did, because, you know, I'm used to fighter, mage, cleric, thief, the standard Dungeons and Dragons archetypes. And, you know, they're a little bit different in Lotro. It's like, well, what's the difference between a runekeeper and a lore master? And you kind of have to play them and find out. And, you know, we were talking about burglars earlier, and yellow line versus red line, and how different yellow line burglar is. And there's a lot of subtleties to the character variations in Lotro that you kind of have to play to experience. And so I started out on Arkenstone, and I created, I think, 4 or 5 characters, and I created what I call crafting circles, where I've got different characters, and then each character has a different vocation. So I've got woodworking, jewelry making, armor smithing and tailoring, weaponsmithing, cooking, all assigned to different characters, and I leveled them up together so that they could craft for each other and help each other out and share crafting materials. Well, I didn't have enough character slots on Arkenstone to get all the different character types, so I created another set on an old server called Silverload. And then I think eventually I created a third crafting circle on Crick Hollow. And just by going through and playing those characters and leveling them kind of up all to get together at the same time, I've had so many Lotro points from just doing quests and completing deeds that I've never had to buy them. Now I am a what's called a freemium player. I've been awarded Lotro points just by hanging out in other people's streams. And used gift cards to get Lotro points back when you could still buy Lotro cards at GameStop. That was a long time ago. But I've never opened my own wallet to buy Lotro points. And I don't know, I think I bought War of the Three Peaks. I haven't started playing it yet. I've got more than enough to buy Gundabad when it finally comes to the store. I've got about 7,500 Lotro points banked right now, just from playing the game. And I did have somebody as a Christmas present sent me a code for 5,000 Lotro points a while back. But if I'd never gotten that, I'd still have enough for Gundabad banked, 2,500 or so, and I get more Lotro points every time I play the game. So if your goal is to take one character and level it up as fast as you can because you think there's something magical about the end game experience, I can tell you 2 things. One, that's not going to work well, and you're going to want to crack open your wallet to get there instead of trying to do it all free to play, because that's not practical with a single character. And secondly, there's nothing magical waiting for you at level cap. Lotro is a journey. It is definitely not a destination. Take your time, explore the game, have fun with it. Read the quest text, complete as much as you possibly can, and you'll have fun with the game. But you don't have to open your wallet for any particular reason. Visit to a dreamer.
What strange darkness covers the sky?
And
What strange darkness covers the
go
sky?
talk to some dudes. Okay, I can go do that. We're going to go talk to some dudes. She's got another quest for me. The sights of Gondor's Garden.
We woke this morning to
Yeah.
no sun.
Beautiful,
No light
beautiful
of day.
city. Would love to see it in the daytime sometime. So that's my take on free-to-play versus VIP. I made the comment that, don't be like me. Support Lotro. Spend a little bit of money. You'll be glad you did. And the VIP subscription, the benefits to it are enormous for the small price that you pay. For starters, you get 500 bonus points, Lotro points, every month. And if you go VIP for 6 months or a year, you won't be able to spend them fast enough. It unlocks swift travel. It unlocks mailboxes anywhere. You don't have to go find a mailbox if your packs get full. It unlocks all kinds of things that free-to-play players have to go earn the points for. Now, they did just make some changes to free-to-play that make things easier. We found the fountain. Okay, good. In fact, I think this is the fountain I was just fishing in. See, I knew I was supposed to have some discovery points, and I hadn't picked up the quest yet. That's why I was walking into some of those gazebos and stuff, waiting for that to pop. Ponton says, so would you need a sub to run Windows on your computer? Oh, a subscription to run Windows on your computer? If Microsoft had their way, yes. It would be very much like Adobe, the Adobe suite, or Office 365. When I'm at the office, we use Office 365, and I have to authenticate into Office. And authenticating into Windows is something you already do, and it would be very easy to adapt it over to a subscription model where you could log into your computer and it would pop up and say, your subscription is out of date. Please click here to pay us our, $10, our $5. That's something that Microsoft is trying to figure out how to do, because they'd rather have that. I won't mention the name, but I heard about a guy who's got a video network, and he has 1 million subscribers who pay $100 a year to get his videos, his podcasts, his video content that he creates for what's basically a private television network, for lack of a better description. I heard this anecdotally. I'm not a fan or a subscriber. I don't dislike the guy in question, but I just heard about this secondhand, and that $100 a year means this guy's got $100 million coming in, and he can provide that content, commercial free, and say whatever he wants, and not worry about getting deplatformed or getting his sponsorships threatened with protesters. But the Microsoft subscription model, it's like, would you rather sell one copy of Windows for $99 to somebody every 5 years, or have them pay $10 a month year after year, even $5 a month year after year? It's way more lucrative to have the subscription model, and it produces more steady revenue over time, instead of having your revenue bubble tied to a big release that only comes along every 5 years or so. See, if I was a burglar, I could have safe fell there, and it wouldn't have been a big deal. Anyway, I'm not that person who spends real money for computer games, so if the game asks me to pay to keep playing, so I will left the game from now. That's why I asked before I continue. Lotro has what's easily... It's almost not fair to the developers how good the free-to-play model is. Again, I've never spent a nickel of my own money on Lotro. I got a free beta invite, played the game, came back to it after it went free to play, have never subscribed. Basically, what VIP does for you, though, is I feel like it maximizes the quality of your playtime. Because I'm free to play, I sometimes log in and I'm doing what I call character maintenance stuff that a subscriber probably wouldn't have to do. Just cleaning up stuff, taking a little extra time to do this, a little extra time to do that. And part of the reason why I play completionist on a lot of my characters is that's really the best way to max them out. If you don't have your virtues capped out, if you don't have your deeds done, you don't have your class traits and racial traits unlocked, you're just kind of missing out. And I think most of us have probably run into players who've Valar'd their characters. Gift of the Valar, Blessing of the Valar, where they're, I spent, 5,000 Lotro points so I didn't have to level up. And now my character's missing all kinds of things. And I have no idea how to play the character because I didn't come up with it. Essence of Resistance, Essence of Healing, Incoming Healing. Don't really need it, but okay.
And my men will assail Harlaw.
Find the secret ferry among the reeds in the eastern reaches of Loss'n'Ark. Really? There's got to be a lot more quests than this right here. Well, let's see what we got. Speak to these guys. Let's seek the maidens. Travel to Minas Tirith. Travel to Minas Tirith. Find the dude on the Overlook. Alright, well, let's focus on this quest. Because this will give me more quests here instead of having to venture out already. Because I know I'm missing a bunch of stuff. Yeah, Ponton says, I hope Windows trashes that idea and does something else. Well, like I said, we were talking about the Steam Deck and Linux gaming, and frankly, I probably would have just switched to Linux 4 or 5 years ago if I hadn't been playing video games so voraciously. That was the one reason to stay with Windows. And as Valve proves to be more or less successful, the more successful they are making gaming on Linux viable and easy, the less likely Microsoft is to be able to pull off a subscription model. I got to tell you right now, corporate-wise, companies will pay. They don't care. I mean, the place I work for is just like, yeah, okay. Cut Microsoft a big fat check and we'll subscribe and it's fine. It's, an operating expense they can write off. It's not a big deal. And they get promised support and they get promised, upgrades and all this other stuff. And it's all bennies that, the average home user won't get, whether or not we're paying. And, I've already ranted about Microsoft support in the past. I have a full retail box copy of Windows 8.1 that, I paid good money for. And I actually needed support help with an issue. Called up Microsoft and they were like, you just need to go back to where you bought it to get help. Now, you don't understand. I'm not calling with an OEM license. I've got a full retail boxed copy. You guys need to support me. Yeah, we're not going to do that. Go back to where you bought it. And I was like, okay. Thanks, Microsoft. They don't want to deal with end users. They don't want to deal with the public. If you're not spending tens of thousands of dollars a year with Microsoft, they couldn't care less. That's the reality. They've proven it. And if you get into a subscription model, your support is likely not going to be one iota better than when you've just been buying the software. Potton says, I think Lotro was one of the first MMOs to go free to play, so not much to go on from other games when doing it at the time. If I remember the history of it, and others probably remember better than I, DDO actually went first, and it was so successful that Lotro was doing fine at the time, or at least was doing okay. Maybe not what they were hoping it would be doing. But they took Lotro free to play as well, and Lotro also had a big upburst in players. And, if you don't have to spend $40 or $50 on a game, or even in the case of whether or not you go VIP, I think a lot of players are okay with, I need to spend $12 or $15 to get this new expansion. Isn't a big deal for them if it's a one-time cost. One of the issues I had with some of my MMOs, I was paying for subscriptions to Asheron's Call and to Eve Online when I first tried Lotro, and I didn't really want to pay for a third subscription, and that was one of the reasons why I didn't sign on for Lotro. Thought it was a beautiful game, a little bit of a snooze fest, because at the time I think I only went through Arid Loon. I didn't really see a lot of the game. But it was like, okay, well, I'm fighting some level 5 wolves. Okay, now I'm fighting some level 8 wolves. It's like, the music and the graphics are pretty. I've seen this before. It's not anything earth-shatteringly new. I think we're kind of seeing a new generation of that. I shouldn't pick on other games, so I was going to make a comment about some other titles that have come out recently, so I won't do that. What the heck was I even prattling on about? I decided not to subscribe, and then later canceled my subscriptions to Asheron's Call and to EVE Online because I got excited about radio control flying, and I was spending so much time at the RC flying field that I just wasn't online playing MMOs very much. And as much as I liked them, it was like my attention was elsewhere. You get excited about something, or something happens in real life. Your wife gets run over at a football game by a couple of players and breaks her shoulder. You don't get a chance to play as much as you'd like. And I'm going to go this way because that's where the arrow's pointing. So, people's available leisure time change, their priorities change, their interests evolve. And it's not that they don't love Lotro, but, they might want to take a couple months off and don't want to pay for the subscription. And there's nothing wrong with that. One of the beauties of Lotro and the free-to-play model is if you want to take a break from it, it'll very likely be here waiting for you when you want to come back. And I ended up, in the winter, I'm not flying a lot. Late at night, I might still be up and not working on model airplane projects because I don't want to be waking up Mrs. M running a Dremel while she's trying to sleep. Things like that. What else am I looking for here? Oh, here's a ring. Somebody I need to talk to, hopefully.
What news do you bring, traveler? What news do you bring, traveler?
Talk to the young recruits. Hello, young recruit. Would you like me to set you on fire? How about you? Would you like to be electrocuted? You got it. And I should probably switch that skill with my fishing pole. Fire ridicule is back in place.
This darkness is a weight on my mind.
Anybody else need electrocuted? No?
What news do you bring, traveler?
Happy to help. So that's my thoughts on Lotro, on, VIP status, on subscribing, on premium and freemium. The way I try to contribute and give back is by streaming Lotro and trying to promote the game. I feel like I at least do that adequately enough that I can sleep at night knowing I'm not sending them money. But thank goodness that even after all this time and all the changes, DDO and Lotro are still around for us to enjoy. As are the pizza rolls. So, I think we've gotten 4 of the 5 Tedments done already. I haven't shown that in a while. Oh, you know what? I don't know if I can. I don't know if I transferred the picture over to the Linux setup. I'll have to do that at some point. But the 5 Tedments, for those who aren't familiar, thou shalt fish, thou shalt craft, thou shalt do thy task item turn-ins, thou shalt manage thy inventory, and thou shalt eat on camera. I've definitely been eating on camera tonight. The pizza rolls are awesome. Pepperoni, of course. Yummy as always. And the only thing I haven't done on cam or on stream yet is craft, so we'll get to that at some point. I don't think there's a crafting hall here. I think there's one back in Arnok. Oh, here we go. Talk to somebody in the Hall of the Gentle Hand. We ride for the Hall of the Gentle Hand, and for glory. Alright, somewhere there should be a dude I need to talk to. Interesting, there's nothing up those stairs. Here we go. And by dude, I mean a lady. Hello, lady.
What is the meaning of this? What is the meaning of this?
In case you didn't know, in France, Jerry Lewis was considered a comedic god. There's an old reference. Here's a possible hiding place. There's nothing suspicious there, however. Dude looks like a lady, possibly. We'll head over here and look around, see what we can find. Here's a possible hiding place. Hey, it's a possible hiding place. Let's check it out. Mary Rose checking in. Hello, Hobnugget. How are you? You're just in time. We're snacking on pizza rolls. By we, I mean me and Mrs. Mustafa. Somewhere outside there's another hiding place. Here we go. Cross-eyed from a busy week. You know, my week started out just crazy, and then the last 2 days things slowed way down, which was kind of nice and a little scary. And my boss was like, hey, how come you're not doing this and this? That stuff you haven't trained me on yet? Oh. Didn't like that answer.
I beg your pardon. What is the meaning of this?
So I think what I'm going to start doing at work, I need to dig up some dry erase markers and a dry erase eraser. But I actually have a little whiteboard in my cube. And I'm just going to start writing down stuff people need to teach Ed. And then just make a list. And then when they walk by wondering what I'm doing, they'll see it and like, oh, maybe we should get him trained up on that. Yeah. Feed spear flour to some of the guests. Hi, would you like to be my guinea pig for medical testing? None of these people, of course. Maybe. Here's a sick patient. Can I click on him? No. Oh, feed it to one of the goats. Okay. Reading is fundamental. Let's see if it kills a goat. I had yearly review today. Went better than I thought it would, but still as exciting as visiting the dentist. Actually, Mrs. Mustafa and I like our dentist. I don't mind visits to the dentist at all. They're usually quite pleasant for me, in fact. Looks like there's a goat up here off to the left. Deer in the middle of town. That's a traffic hazard here in Nebraska. The deadliest animal in North America, the white-tailed deer, causes a tremendous number of traffic accidents every year. And what you don't want to have happen is once in a great while, the deer will jump right before you hit it and end up coming through the windshield. And then in an effort to free itself from the car, it'll start kicking. And you can have people in completely survivable collisions that end up getting severely injured and or killed because they get kicked to death by the deer that they hit with their car. Not a good way to go. What were you doing to those goats? Feeding them a type of weed to find out whether or not it was digestible and or poisonous. They didn't seem to like the weed, so we don't think we're going to try any medicinal properties with it.
I beg your pardon. I beg your pardon.
Confront Egund at the front gate. We ride for the front gate and for glory. Is that why one fell down? Yeah. Goats have a reputation for being able to eat almost anything, though, so if you feed something to a goat and it doesn't react well to it, you don't want to eat it. There we go. I was trying to dry in the skin on my horse and it looked like it was on skates for a little bit there. Oop, I did not want to go this way. There's the bridge. I don't think I can get back up. I can get back up. Good. I didn't mess up too bad. Look before you leap, boys and girls. Don't be like Big Head Mustafa. We'll try going up this way first. And that gets us over the river, and then we can cut to the right. So last week I was talking about Mrs. Mustafa intentionally torturing me with her dinner selections. We had tuna, mac, and cheese like 3 nights within a week. And then one night she made bad pasta with frozen shrimp, which normally could turn out okay. In fact, I think the sauce was okay. She has a habit of buying pre-cooked shrimp and then cooking them to death after she takes them out of the freezer. So they end up a bit flavorless and chewy. And then the noodles were kind of mushy, but the sauce that she made was fine, whatever it was. And so I tried to make a pact with her. I said, look, the tuna and mac, I know you like it. Maybe once a month we could have it for dinner when you're not in the mood to cook something else. And then, like, maybe one weekend day lunch a month. If I had it twice in a month, it wouldn't kill me. I don't mind tuna and mac, but the amount that she wants to have it versus the amount that I want to have it are two completely different numbers. So I was talking about this, and if you love tuna, mac, and cheese, more power to you. Like I said, I don't dislike it. I just don't want to be eating it all the time. Especially when it's Lent and we can go to our favorite steakhouse and not have to wait for a table. But she served it again one night this week, and I could smell it as soon as I walked in the door. I was like, ugh. And she tried to trip me up by going, here's a salad for you. And she had a Caesar salad with some grilled chicken in it. That was the warm-up before the tuna mac and cheese. And then yesterday I went to Taco John's and got Taco Bravos for lunch because they're half price on Thursdays. And they were delicious. It's a ground beef crispy hard shell taco that's basically wrapped with a bean burrito around it. So when you bite into it, the shell can't crack and fall to pieces. The flour shell with the beans smeared on it holds the whole thing together. They're quite hearty, delicious, inexpensive. And I usually get that for lunch on Thursdays because I like Taco Bravos. And so in order to torture me and the fact that I complained about the tuna mac and cheese, I got a text on my way home. Oh yeah, I stopped by Taco John's. I had 2 tacos. I got you a chicken taco salad. And I was like, she knows I just ate Taco John's yesterday, and what I had was better than what I'm going to have tonight. So that was a little disappointing, but Mrs. Mustafa will find new and exciting ways to torture me. That is her job as my wife. And I think I'd mentioned, at least on Wednesday nights, she started watching a show called Only in America with Larry the Cable Guy. That they have reruns on it on one of the local digital stations, Circle TV, which is sort of like a country music channel. And she just started watching it because there's not much else on during its time slot. And it's relatively amusing most of the time. But this little grocery store in Gretna, Nebraska called McKinney's actually has Larry the Cable Guy skillet dinner boxes. They're on the dollar discount shelf. Hamburger, cheeseburger, and lasagna flavored. They're basically hamburger helper knockoffs. But I bought a couple for her as a joke when I was over there just buying snacks for my desk drawer. And she actually cooked them, and they weren't bad. And compared to tuna mac and cheese, I'd much rather eat a Larry the Cable Guy box dinner. And I went over to get more snacks today, and I told her, good news, looks like they restocked the Larry the Cable Guy box dinners, so we won't be running out for a while. I might be the only person who buys those when I go over there.
No light of day.
Okay, that's the guy who said to feed the goats the weed. Now we go back and tell her what he said. Singer checking in. Hi, Singer. Ginger says, I'm off to bed. Have fun. Ginger, you have a great night. Get plenty of rest. And hopefully I'll get a chance to chat with you more this weekend. Peace out, dear. Singer, how the heck are you? How has your week been, my friend? Other than having to put up with me on Wednesday night for a short time.
Why do you interrupt me? Why do you interrupt me?
Collect dew leaf. The cure to the poison. Now, I went that way before, and I ended up having to go up this way to go that way. So we'll try to be smart and just go this way to start out. Fine, sold a Virtual Boy game the other day for a decent chunk of change, so happy enough with that. Awesome. I had a pretty good week. Work was busy, and then it kind of slowed down, so I'm kind of coming into the weekend already a little bit relaxed. Mrs. M's doing good. Tried feeding me macaroni and cheese and tuna again, so I laid down the law, so she decided to feed me what I had for lunch yesterday for dinner tonight, just to spite me. I don't have a problem with leftovers. I'm not a picky eater at all, but I do like a little variety. I don't want to eat the same thing twice in a row. If I have it on Monday and then again on Wednesday, that's normally fine. But the world is a big place, and there are lots and lots and lots of different delicious things to eat. So I don't need macaroni and cheese and canned tuna 3 times within a week. Just not how I want to go. But dinner aside, it's been a good week. I'm feeling pretty good and rested. We've got some plans for the weekend looking forward to. It's going to an RC auction tomorrow. I may or may not have to help work it. If I do, that's fine. It's not a big deal. But man, the idea of actually just getting to go to one and hang out and not have to auctioneer, it's like, that would be nice. These RC Flying Club auctions, it just gives you a chance to run into some friends and fellow pilots maybe you hadn't seen in a while, or yeah, a lot of the guys are retired, and us working stiffs were on different schedules. So I used to be able to take off. They'd go to breakfast on Tuesday mornings. And at my old job, I used to be able to sneak out and go crash the Tuesday morning breakfast. And I just don't have that luxury anymore. She's reeling back how much the tuna is prepped, so enough it'll be sushi mac and cheese. She made pizza rolls for me tonight, though, so I can't complain too loudly. There it is. Dew leaf. This is a tribute to one of the sisters. Discovered a tribute basket to the Lone Lady of the River Arui. So what does that do for me? Not very much, apparently. Must be for a deed. You know if there's any more Coke Zero in the fridge at all, sweetie?
What's that?
It's almost gone. If you've heard that Big Ed hit rock bottom, that's what that means. This 44-ounce Coke Zero fountain drink is gone. 'Tis a sad thing. Do I need to go feed this to the goats too?
I beg your pardon.
The healer's workbench in the Hall of the Gentle Hand. Bubbles form in the cure as you add the dew leaf to the mixture. We'll administer it to sick patients. Thank you, my love. What do you want? A drink? Some pizza rolls? A drink. Use your words, sweetie. You're welcome. Did you want to say hi to everybody? Good one. That was Mrs. Mustafa trying to greet you all. She says she doesn't like Coke Zero, but it makes her burp, so she likes burping. Inherently, she has to hate Coke Zero because Coke Zero makes me happy. Anything that makes me happy, she wants to trample on and destroy. And if she's unable to do that, then she'll just keep feeding me tuna mac and cheese.
I beg your pardon.
There's naught but ill omens these days. This darkness is a weight
Search
on
for
my
the
mind.
scouting party at Ost Moorhere, southeast of Imloth Malui. We ride for the scouting party and for glory. Weird, the horn never blew. Please draw in my invisible horse. There you go. Alright, Minas Tirith, Minas Tirith. Seek the maidens. I think this is the orc outpost I went to before that didn't have any quests ready for me yet. I think I just queued the quest rings. So if I get here, I'd expect a few to pop up. We'll see what we get. Orcs have made a camp within the ruins. Free the scout captain. One of the nice things about Eastern Gondor, you don't really have to worry too much about getting your Slayer deeds done while you're traveling across it, because Osgiliath is full of everything you need to kill. You will not run out of targets. There we
There's
go.
naught but ill omens these days.
Now we go back. That's all I needed to do in here was free him and then leave. Okay. Let me put this in terms you'll understand. I'm not down with that. There's a show that I miss. King of the Hill was not uproariously funny. The humor in it was very dry, but it was very humorous. And that was this dude I need to talk to back at the Hall of the Gentle Hand? Is that where I have to go all the way back to? I don't know. Nope, good.
This darkness is a weight on my mind. There's naught but ill omens these days.
Alright. Oh, maybe we're going back there to kick ass and chew bubble gum. Oops, I must accidentally hit print screen reaching for the pizza rolls.
After days secluded in her chambers, Lady Vanulos has left them in a troubled state, seemingly heedless of her path. Down from her hill, down out of Imloth Melwi, down to the high banks of the river Andui, where fair flowers nod in the breeze, and danger lurks all around.
Looking around for them dang orcs. Make sure none of them even know she's here. Are we headed down towards these two by the river? Yep. What you watching, honey?
Test question.
You want to watch it a decibel or two lower? Thank you, sweetie.
I didn't do anything to it.
Oh. Well, that's okay. Thanking you in advance for turning it down. There's a couple of orcs over there that need whacked. Who wants some? Gonna rip him a new one. Channeling my Duke Nukem while I'm playing Lotro. Pizza rolls. Totino's pepperoni pizza rolls. Mrs. Mustafa was kind enough to bake up a big old batch of them for me. They are yummy. Proper snacking is essential to maintaining your vitality and focus while you're playing Lotro for, 6, 8, 10 hours at a time. That, remembering to take potty breaks. As much as Mrs. Mustafa might love me, she won't bring me a bedpan while I'm playing video games. It's just not going to happen. Excuse me. Now let's not be jumping in the river. Tanark Girl has been defeated.
What has become of our lords in the east, I wonder? What strange darkness covers the sky?
I need 3, 4 open pack spaces. So what I need is a mailbox. If I were a vendor, well, this stuff I can just destroy. Who the hell cares? Goodbye. Definitely don't need that earring. Nothing to put that in, don't care. And we'll throw that away just for fun. Okay, well there's my 4 slots. We'll go back in and collect.
We woke this morning to no sun, no light of day.
Robe of the flowered vase.
What strange darkness covers the sky?
Talk to Marinir. Probably back. A watch on the walls. Well, I wonder if we might be getting some rain tonight. Would be very welcome if we were. We've had a very dry, snowless winter. If Omaha does not get copious amounts of rain in March and April, the farmers will need to be using a sledgehammer to plant this spring. Ground is going to be like concrete.
How may I help you, friend?
I probably have more stuff to mail away than I have. Yeah, I think we can just find the mailbox and call it good.
This darkness is a weight on my mind.
Find Dindal the Lookout. And I managed to unmute myself, so that worked out well. We ride for Dindal. And for glory. At the lookout. Ooh, Skarn. There's a narrow path you right up here to get to the lookout point. Yeah, we're definitely starting to get thunder and rain here. Which, like I said, is a very good thing.
There's naught but ill omens these days. This darkness is a weight on my mind. There's
We
naught but
ride to
ill
Harland.
omens these days.
You know, for glory and stuff. I think there's some signal fires outside the town. And then... oh, I need to gaze northeast from the lookout. Okay, well, let's do that. I need to pay attention and read my quest guide. Large force of orcs has made camp in the Harland before the wall.
This darkness is a weight on my mind.
Yeah, you don't want to jump down from here, that much I remember. It will not end well. In fact, we'll goat down out here. I don't need a war steed launching me over the side either. That's at least a survivable fall. It's just hard on the goat. There they are. He did not make it. Do they have any good new recipes on America's Test Kitchen for tuna mac and cheese?
Uh-uh.
Alright, well that's 4 of 4. I have to go back up to the top of the lookout and talk to that dude? Okay, I can do that. It's a long ride from here, but... And there's no way up from this side. To go all the way back around. Chat's gone very quiet. Do I need to talk about food some more? Are you guys all just like, I can't believe he didn't bring enough pizza rolls to share? I would completely understand that sentiment. If y'all were here, I would have shared pizza rolls with you. Oh, I'm dead. Or I landed on a nice soft horse. Oh, that's weird. He must have moved up. I didn't need to ride all the way back here. You know, pay attention to the quest tracker, Ed. You might learn a thing or two. Who knew? Vinnick, how are you? Oh, no, he's still up there. I just rode the wrong way. Okay, so let's go back and go up again. And that storm's getting closer. I'm trying to get this quest finished up so I can do some crafting, and I'll probably have to call it a stream. We'll go find somebody else who's playing Lotro who may not be in a thunderstorm watch. Okay, I did make a comment about not wanting to get launched off of the cliff. That must be what I missed. I needed to catch this jog up here to the left. I just love this hill you're trying to climb. Yeah, it's... a very long way to go to move a short distance. That cliff I rode off of is quite the drop. Here we go.
There's naught but ill omens these days.
So that's done. Those quests are done. Eastern Gondor. Oh, here we are, scouting the Halrond. And Sights of Gondor's Garden is still a thing. Okay. Well, I could go forward, I could go backwards, I could park here. I think we'll do that. My apologies for not crafting tonight. I did not get anywhere where there was a crafting station. I don't have much to do except convert skarn into ingots at this point. Could have polished some onyx, but that's okay. We got 4 of the 5 tenements done. And oh, lots of good streamer choices tonight. Doug Glendower's over on Dungeons and Dragons, or he's streaming on his channel, Dungeons and Dragons Online. Doug's an old friend. We used to play Rocket League and Lotro together. El Galadwin's up and running. Professor Teacher G is up and running. Since El Galadwin is a fellow Lotro Stream Team member, we will be rating her, but Doug and Professor Teacher G are both highly recommended as well. There's some Yahoo streaming on Lotro Stream, but I don't think he'll be on much longer. So we'll go raid El Galadwin. And if I'm cutting it a little bit short, I apologize. But even if I don't have a power issue because of the storm, it's likely to screw with my cable modem service at some point anyway. So better to exit gracefully than to wait for it to go down. El Galadwin. There we go. Get the E in there, Ed. Anyway, have a great night, everybody. I'll be on my personal channel tomorrow night and Sunday. Come by and say hi if you get the chance. We'll be doing Lotro for sure on Wednesday night on my channel. That's Adventures on Evernight night. So take care, everybody. Have fun this weekend. And remember, what we do in our daily lives is what we do with our lives. So don't waste your time. Have fun. Take care. And we'll talk to you all soon. Peace. Can you hear the thunder? That's not Mrs. Mustafa's tummy rumbling. That's actual thunder. So we got to go.
Now.